In American and Canadian folklore, Bigfoot or Sasquatch are said to be hairy, upright, walking, ape-like or humanoid creatures that dwell in the wilderness and leave giant human-like footprints. Depictions often portray them as a missing link between humans and human ancestors or other great apes. They are strongly associated with the Pacific Northwest, particularly Oregon, Washington, British Columbia, and Northern California. Individuals have claimed to see the creatures all across North America over the years. These creatures have inspired numerous commercial ventures and hoaxes. The plural nouns Bigfoots and Big Feet are both in use. Folklorists trace the figure of Bigfoot to a combination of factors and sources, including folklore surrounding the European wild man figure, folk belief among Native Americans and loggers, and a cultural increase in environmental concerns. A majority of scientists have historically discounted the existence of Bigfoot, considering it to be the combination of folklore, misidentification, and hoax rather than living animals. People who claim to have seen it describe Bigfoot as large, muscular, bipedal, ape-like creatures, roughly 6 to 9 feet tall, covered in hair described as black, dark brown, or dark reddish. The enormous footprints for which the creatures are named are claimed to be as large as 24 inches long and 8 inches wide. Some footprint casts have also contained claw marks, making it likely that they came from known animals such as bears, which have 5 toes and claws. Legends of this creature predate the name Bigfoot. They differ in their details both regionally and between families in the same community. Most cultures have accounts of human-like giants in their folk history, expressing a need for some larger-than-life creature. Each language had its own name for the creatures featured in the local version of such legends. Many names meant something along the lines of wild man or hairy man, although other names describe common actions that it was said to perform, such as eating clams or shaking trees. Historical versions have also been recorded, such as one in 1840. Where it was recorded, there were stories of giants living among the Native Americans in Spokane, Washington. The Native Americans said that these giants lived on or around the peaks of nearby mountains and stole salmon from the fishermen's nets. Approximately 1/3 of all claims of Bigfoot sightings are located in the Pacific Northwest, with the remaining reports spread throughout the rest of North America. Bigfoot has become better known and a phenomenon in popular culture, and sightings have spread throughout North America. Rural areas of the Great Lakes region and the southeastern United States have been sources of numerous reports of Bigfoot sightings. From 1818 to 1980, there were over 1,000 reported sightings of this creature. The debate over the legitimacy of Bigfoot reached a peak in the 1970s, and Bigfoot has been regarded as the first widely popularized example of pseudoscience in American culture. Various explanations have been suggested for the sightings, and to offer conjecture on what type of creature Bigfoot might be. Some scientists typically attribute sightings either to hoaxes or to misidentification of known animals and their tracks, particularly black bears. In 2007, the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization put forward some photos which they claimed showed a juvenile Bigfoot. The Pennsylvania Game Commission, however, said that the photos were of a bear with mange. However, anthropologist Jeffrey Meldrum and Ohio scientists Jason Jarvis said that the limb proportions of the creature were not bear-like. They were more like a chimpanzee. In January 2014, a hunter said that he had killed a Bigfoot creature outside San Antonio, Texas. He said he had scientific tests performed on the body. From DNA tests to 3D optical scans to body scans, it is the real deal. It's Bigfoot, and Bigfoot's here, and I shot it, and now I'm proving it to the world. He said that he had kept the body in a hidden location, and he intended to take it on tour across North America. He released photos of the body and a video showing a few individuals' reactions to seeing it, but never released any of the tests or scans and refused to disclose the test results or to provide biological samples. It has been theorized that Bigfoot is part of the Gigantopithecus family, an extinct genus of ape from southern China, represented by one species. Potential identifications have also been made in Thailand, Vietnam, and Indonesia. Remains of Gigantopithecus have been found, including teeth, and numerous more remains have since been found in at least 16 locations. Gigantopithecus is argued to be a hominin, a member of the human line, but it is now thought to be closely allied with orangutans. Scientists do not consider the subject of a living Bigfoot to be a fertile area for credible science. There have been a limited number of formal scientific studies of Bigfoot, but no supportive data of any scientific value has been achieved. Great apes have not been found in the fossil record in the Americas, and no Bigfoot remains are known to have been found. Philip Stevens, a cultural anthropologist at the University of Buffalo, summarized the scientific consensus as follows. It defies all logic that there is a population of these things sufficient to keep them going. What it takes to maintain any species, especially a long-lived species, is you've got to have a breeding population. That requires a substantial number spread out over a fairly wide area where they can find sufficient food and shelter to keep hidden from all the investigators. A formal study of available evidence was conducted by John Napier and published in his book Bigfoot, the Yeti and Sasquatch in Myth and Reality in 1973. Napier wrote that if a conclusion is to be reached based on scant extant hard evidence, science must declare Bigfoot does not exist. However, he found it difficult to reject thousands of alleged tracks scattered over 125,000 square miles, or to dismiss all the many hundreds of eyewitness accounts. Napier concluded, I am convinced that Sasquatch exists, but whether it is all it is cracked up to be is another matter altogether. There must be something in Northwest America that needs explaining, and that something leaves man-like footprints. A study published in the Journal of Biogeography in 2009 by J.D. Luzier used ecological niche modeling on reported sightings of Bigfoot, using their locations to infer Bigfoot's preferred ecological parameters. They found a very close match with the ecological parameters of the American black bear. They also note that an upright bear looks very much like Bigfoot's purported appearance, and consider it highly improbable that two species should have very similar ecological preferences, concluding that Bigfoot sightings are most likely sightings of black bears. In the first systematic genetic analysis of 30 hair samples that were suspected to be from Bigfoot, Yeti, Sasquatch, or other primates, only one was found to be primate in origin, and that was identified as human. Black and brown bear accounted for most of the samples. Other animals include cow, horse, dog, wolf, coyote, sheep, goat, raccoon, porcupine, deer, and tapir. After what the Huffington Post described as a 5-year study of purported Bigfoot, also known as Sasquatch, DNA samples, a veterinary laboratory headed by veterinarian Melba Ketchum issued a press release on November 24, 2012, claiming that they had found proof that the Sasquatch is a human relative that arose approximately 15,000 years ago as a hybrid cross of modern Homo sapiens with an unknown primate species. Ketchum called for this to be recognized officially, saying that government at all levels must recognize them as an indigenous people and immediately protect them and their human rights against those who would see in their physical and cultural differences a license to hunt, trap, or kill them. Bigfoot has had a demonstrable impact as a popular culture phenomenon. When asked for her opinion of Bigfoot in a September 27, 2002 interview on National Public Radio's Science Friday, Jane Goodall said, "I'm sure they exist," and later said, "Well, I'm a romantic, so I always wanted them to exist." And finally, "You know, why isn't there a body? I can't answer that. And maybe they don't exist, but I want them to." When asked again, Goodall said, "I'm fascinated and would actually love them to exist," adding, "Of course, it's strange that there has never been a single authentic hide or hair of the Bigfoot, but I've read all of the accounts." There are several organizations dedicated to the research and investigation of Bigfoot in the United States. The oldest and largest is the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization. In February 2016, the University of New Mexico held a 2-day Bigfoot conference at a cost of $7,000 in university funds. What do you think as to the existence of Bigfoot? Please let me know in the comments below. As always, we appreciate you watching the video. Take care and take it easy.